BBC News, Bangkok.
We speak now to Phil Robertson, who is Deputy Asia Director at Human Rights Watch. Phil, it's good to have you with us. What do you make of the sentences and the reduction that we've seen since the original sentence was passed?
Well, the actual sentences are not a surprise. We knew there was going to be a guilty verdict because those courts are far from independent. They've been under the thumb of the military for many, many decades. And they want to put Aung San Suu Kyi away. They want to marginalize her as a political force, to imprison her, possibly in house arrest. It's interesting that they've decided to reduce the sentence by 2 years, but as your correspondent pointed out, there are many more charges coming. They've been really racking up the charges against her, and I expect we're going to see many more verdicts against her in the coming weeks and months.
When you have a junta that does not have international recognition or credibility, what diplomatic levers are there that other countries can pull to put pressure on the regime if this is a sham trial and that the sentencing is politically motivated?
Well, I think there is the whole legitimacy issue, which is certainly something that's a very sore point for the military junta. But there's also the issue of money and sanctions, something that we think the European Union, the UK, and the US should do more of. We've been urging them to go after oil and gas sanctions, which would target revenues, which are the biggest source of foreign revenue for the military junta, and really put some pressure on their lifelines.
And when it comes to people within the country expressing their dissatisfaction with the way it's been handled and protesting, how much freedom is there for them to do that, if any, based on what we've seen?
It's really super dangerous now for them to go out and protest. I mean, you're seeing very brave people do these flash mob protests in major cities. And, as we saw earlier today, a number of them were injured and perhaps killed by a speeding military vehicle which just plowed into a crowd. They recognize when they go out and protest now that they're risking their lives. And, this is now where the Burmese people are. They are challenging directly military. In some ways, they still have fear, but they've also some ways lost their fear because they realize that there's no way back if they allow the military junta to stay on.
And Phil, given Aung San Suu Kyi's fall from grace, from being Nobel Prize winner to being roundly criticised for the way she handled the Rohingya crisis, how much do you think she can rely, if at all, on international intervention or support for her cause?
Well, I do think that she will get international support because she is recognized as the legitimate winner of the November 2020 election. There were many election observers who were in Myanmar, and they recognize as a broadly free and fair exercise of democracy. And Aung San Suu Kyi and the NLD won in a landslide. So I think that it's not only her, damaged goods and all, but it's also the principle of democracy, which has been torn up by this military junta, and the human rights that they're now committing to try to hold on to power.
OK, Phil, thank you very much. Phil Robertson, Deputy Asia Director at Human Rights Watch.